Thom Hartmann here with you. On the line with us is Katrina vanden Heuvel, the editorial director and publisher at The Nation magazine, the website thenation.com, also the Twitter handle, or Katrina Nation. And Katrina has just an absolutely brilliant piece. You can find it at The Nation. It was, I believe, first published in the Washington Post. Democrats must control the crime narrative before it controls them. Katrina, welcome to the program. I think this is so spot on, and you can see the Republicans ginning this up. You know, murder's up, crime is up. Oh my God, defund the police. What do we do?
First of all, thank you for having me on, Thom. It's been a long time.
Always a pleasure.
What do we do? We don't deny that the homicide rate is up, nor do we avert our eyes from the shootings and the gun sales that are up. I think what we do as progressives is lay out a bold, empathetic set of issues and policies that will sound real to people in communities demanding public safety, but not go back to the old, obsolete, outdated, failed playbook of more policing, of more incarceration, of more spending on policing. I think it's critical that we step back and understand the need for dealing with violent crime, but not filling our prisons or jails with those who have committed nonviolent offenses, drug offenses, and thinking hard about the need for social services in the context of public safety, which in many ways is what defund the police is. I have to say, I think crafting messaging is critical. You know that, Thom. You're a messenger, but also someone of principle. And I think defund the police demands an extra 6, 8, 10 words. It doesn't stand on its own. When you spell it out, people say, yeah, we don't need more policing. We need more services. We need more nonviolent public safety measures in our community. So I think we need to lay that out and be firm about it. And the polls show people don't seek, more mass incarceration. They want rehabilitation. My last point is there's a transpartisan element here. I think the Koch brothers are defunding our democracy in many ways, but there is a belief that we're not, the filling of prisons is counterproductive. Mm-hmm. I do think we need more reforms like bail reform. And I think we're in a battle of narrative because the right, not just the right, blames those reforms for increase in crime, which is not true if one looks hard at it.
Right. So the message should be some variation on defund police violence rather than defund the police. And let's put...
It should be, I think you need public safety. And how do you best achieve public safety? The wave of progressive prosecutors, DAs across the country, Thom, something you may have covered on your program, I think is a very important wave. Whether it's Larry Krasner in Philadelphia, who won quite handily, Chesa Boudin, these are the best known. But there are people in Baltimore, I think it's Marilyn Mosby, in St. Louis, and around the country in small places in Texas, who understand that without bail reform, without more social services, without handling violent crime, which is about maybe 4%, so that you have a chance, without de-escalating nonviolent crime, without putting that into a paradigm of incarceration, you have more chance to deal with violent crime. So I think there's a common sense, progressive pragmatism that we're seeing, and I would encourage your viewers to support these DAs because they are seeing it from inside and have allies outside.
I'm reading in the local media that you can't buy ammunition right now in large chunks of Oregon, and that this is because everybody's buying it, and guns as well. The price of guns are going up, and that this is a national phenomenon, much as it was in early 2009, right after Obama was elected, and then again in 2012 when he was reelected. There were these massive nationwide gun and ammunition shortages, and that last year was the biggest year for gun sales in the history of the country. My recollection is 30 or 40 million guns were sold. You're right at the nexus of progressive media at thenation.com. We're talking with Katrina vanden Heuvel, the editorial director and publisher of The Nation magazine. has anybody done an analysis of the correlation and perhaps even causation, the association in any case, between the number of guns in circulation and the homicide rate?
Very, very, very good idea. You know, I've seen some media analysis of the stories. That's very different than data causation. But how can you look at Chicago, for example, where on any given weekend, 40, 50, 60 people killed in gun shootings, and not see some causality? It is the case that states with background gun checks do a little better, but the sale of guns is part of the kind of, you know, the right-wing nationalist politics that, you know, we're experiencing. I mean, there is a feeling, though I think we need to talk to people as much as we can, that there's a civil war underway in this underway in this country. As you pointed out, Obama's election, the fear, the wrongly stoked fear that the guns were going to be taken away from you, moves people to take action. I don't know how much of it is the public safety piece. I mean, Chicago is awash in guns, and
they're coming from Indiana.
Jesse Jackson, coming from Indiana and coming from states with the background checks are inadequate to the extreme. Jesse Jackson would come into our office every 6 months to talk to us about the state of the nation and, you know, jobs in, guns out. Instead, we're getting guns in, jobs out.
Yeah.
And I think some of that plays a role, especially in this post-pandemic, not post-pandemic, in the pandemic era. It's fueling some of what you mentioned.
I am with you, and I think that this is like super critical, particularly with elections coming. The title, Democrats Must Control the Crime Narrative Before It Controls Them, by Katrina vanden Heuvel, both of the Washington Post and thenation.com. Katrina, thank you so much for dropping by. It's always great.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Yeah, have a great afternoon.